Hello, my dear students. Welcome you all to the revision class on the machine tool technology. Now, today's class consists of the solution to the question bank for the Unit 3, that is reciprocating machine tools. The first question is define with respect to shaper, cutting speed, feed, depth of cut and machining time. Here the cutting speed is the rate at which the metal is removed by the tool and it is expressed in meter per minute. In shaper the cutting action is intermittent, therefore the cutting speed is considered during forward cutting stroke only. Then feed, it is the relative movement of the tool or work in a direction perpendicular to the ram movement per cutting stroke in mm. Feed is always given at the end of each return stroke. The next third one is depth of cut. It is the thickness of the metal that is removed in one stroke and it is expressed in millimeter. It is also defined as perpendicular distance between machined surface and non-machined surface of the workpiece. Then fourth one is machining time. The time taken to complete the machining process or complete the cut is called machining time. The next second question is list the operations performed on a shaper. The following are the different operations can be done on the shaper: machining of horizontal surfaces, then machining of vertical surfaces, angular surfaces, cutting of slots, cutting of grooves and cutting of keyways, machining of irregular surfaces and machining of splines or cutting gears. These are the operations which are carried out on the shaper machine. Then third one is list the various operations performed in planer. Planing of flat horizontal surfaces, planing of flat horizontal surfaces, vertical surfaces, then planing of angular surfaces and machining of dovetails, planing of curved surfaces, planing of slots and grooves. These operations can be performed on planer. Then fourth question is list the various operations performed in slaughter. Machining of cylindrical surfaces, machining of flat surfaces, irregular end cams, machining of slots, keyways and grooves. Then fifth question is differentiate between shaper and planer. Here shaper are heavier, larger and costlier. Planers are lighter, smaller and cheaper. Then in shaper work is mounted on a table which reciprocates while the tool is held on machine frame and fed into the work. In planer the tool is held on a ram which reciprocates and the work mounted on the table remains stationary and gives the feed. Shaper is intended to large jobs. Here for the small jobs, means the shaper is used for the large jobs, planer is used for the small jobs. High machining accuracy is there in shaper, low machining accuracy in planer. Here the shaper is robust one, the planer is not robust. Then possible to take deep cuts and heavy feeds. Here in planer not possible to take deep cuts and heavy feeds. The next question is classify the shapers or write the classification of shapers. Here according to the type of mechanism used. According to the type of mechanism used for the reciprocating motion of the ram, crank type, geared type, hydraulic type, means there are three different types of shaper machines are there according to the type of mechanism used. The next is according to the position and travel of the ram, how the ram is positioned and travel of the ram, horizontal type, vertical type, traveling head type. Then according to the design of the table, standard shaper is there, universal shaper. There are two different types of tapers in according to the design of table. Then according to the type of cutting stroke, push type shaper machine and draw type shaper machine. Then seventh question is write the specifications of the shaper, how the shapers are specified. Length of stroke, then size of the cube that can be held in the shaper, type of drive, it may be belt drive or motor drive, then power input, maximum vertical travel of the table, then maximum horizontal travel of the table, then cutting to return stroke ratio, number and amount of feeds, how much feeds you can give on a shaper, then weight of the machine, floor space required, then type of speed direction. These are the what specifications of the shaper. The next is sketch and explain the working of shaper. In a shaper machine, the rotary motion of a drive is converted into reciprocating motion of a ram holding the tool by means of mechanism inside the column of a machine. In a shaper, the metal is removed during the forward stroke, while in return stroke no metal is removed. Therefore, in order to reduce the total machining time, the shaper mechanism should be designed so that it can allow the ram holding the tool should move at comparatively slower during forward stroke than the return stroke. This can achieved by a mechanism called quick return mechanism. In a shaper machine, the rotary motion of the drive is converted into reciprocating motion of a ram holding the tool by means of a mechanism inside the column of a machine. This can be achieved by a mechanism called a quick return mechanism. The quick return mechanism of a machine can be obtained by the following methods: crank and slotted link mechanism, Whitworth quick return mechanism, hydraulic shaper mechanism. Next is sketch and explain the working of slotter. The slotting machine falls under the category of reciprocating type of machine tool similar to shaper or a planer. It operates almost on the same principle as that of shaper. The major difference between slotter and shaper is that in slotter the ram reciprocates in vertical axis, whereas in shaper the ram reciprocates in the horizontal axis. In a vertical shaper, the ram may also reciprocate at an angle but not more than 5 degrees to the vertical. The slotter is used for cutting grooves, keyways and slots of various. In a slotter, a simple Whitworth quick return mechanism is used. The bull gear is mounted on a fixed hub at a rear end of the machine and it is rotated by a driving pinion from the motor. The driving plate is connected to the main shaft through the fixed hub. The main shaft is placed eccentrically with respect to the bull gear center. The bull gear holds the crankpin with sliding block and slides in a driving plate so that when a bull gear rotates, imparts rotary motion to the driving plate and shaft, causing the disc to rotate at the end of the main shaft. The disc is connected to the lower end of the connecting rod eccentrically by means of a pin in a radial T slots on the face of the disc, which converts the rotary motion of the disc into reciprocating motion of the ram connected to the top end of the connecting rod. The next is sketch and explain the working of hydraulic shaper mechanism. A simple design of hydraulic shaper mechanism is shown in the figure. It consists of oil pump, valve chamber, a cylinder, piston, oil reservoir and reversing lever. The piston rod is connected to the ram body. The oil from the reservoir is pumped under high pressure to the right side of the cylinder through valve chamber, which exerts the pressure on the piston, causing the ram to perform forward stroke, and any oil on left side of the cylinder is discharged to the reservoir through the throttle valve at the end of forward stroke. The shaper dog hits against the reversing lever, causing valves to change their position in a valve chamber. Now the oil under high pressure is pumped to the left side of the piston, causing the ram to perform return stroke and discharging the oil present in right side of the piston to the reservoir. At the end of return stroke, another shaper dog hits the reversing lever, changing the direction of the piston, and this cycle is repeated. In this case, the quick return motion is affected by the difference in stroke volume of the cylinder at both ends. The left side being smaller due to presence of piston rod, as the pump has a constant discharge and same quantity of oil will be supplied on the both ends, which increase the pressure on left side than the right side and increasing the speed during return stroke. The position and length of stroke is adjusted by changing the reversing position of reversing dogs. The cutting speed may be changed by controlling the throttle valve, which regulates the flow of oil. The next question is sketch and explain the working of planer. This planer is widely used in most of the workshops. It consists of long heavy base with accurately machined guideways on which a table reciprocates. The bed length is slightly greater than twice the length of the table. Near the middle of the bed, two vertical housings are mounted, one on each side, and these are connected at the top by cross member as shown in the figure. The horizontal cross rail carrying two tool heads slides over the vertical faces of the two housings. These tool heads are moved by hand or power in crosswise or vertical direction to give the feed. In addition to these, there are two other tool heads mounted on vertical face of the housing, which can be moved in vertical and horizontal direction to give the feed. Mechanical or hydraulic devices may be used to drive the planer table. Okay, this is what the answers or solutions for the question bank questions. The remaining thing we'll see in the next video. Thank you.